Welcome everybody to the QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Live Sport Australia and Nothing But Net Media, live from Llewellyn Stadium in Ipswich, as the Ipswich Force host the Toowoomba Mountaineers. I'm John Guarna, and I'm joined in the booth tonight by Dan George and Dave Derwin. Guys, pretty exciting matchup we have here. Toowoomba taking on the Ipswich Force, who are rolling with 2 straight wins.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match, and I think the Ipswich team, coming off a road win, which to many was unexpected last week up at Southern Districts. We're looking forward to seeing how they come back and protect home court. But I'm more interested in looking at how Toowoomba bounce back. They've had an indifferent start to the year, shown some great qualities, but I mean, I think they'll be looking forward to putting up a really good performance here at Ipswich tonight and getting another win.
Dave, what are your thoughts on tonight's matchup? It's always an interesting game when Ipswich and Toowoomba take on each other. Both teams, the teams are heading in opposite directions, where Ipswich is on the rise, where Toowoomba coming off the back of that tough loss last week.
Yeah, I got a bit of secret love for the Force. Jason Ralph, Joey Owens, Kane Bishop, Garrett Hall, pretty familiar with a lot of the boys. So Chris Ritchies is doing a great job here early on in the season, and unfortunately Joey Owens did his ankle the last 2 minutes of training last night, so he's out for probably about a month.
So is that a tear, or
just a bad sprain?
So right. That's a big loss for them, because he's a valuable big coming off the bench.
He is, and especially considering I was talking to him pre-game and said, you know, you got to win the defensive rebounding against the Mountain Men as a key part of the game tonight, because Ridgway and Malik do a great job of hitting the glass. So that really hurts them, and you know, guys like Quan and Bishop really need to step up tonight.
And you mentioned Ridgway. I had a look at, we called the game last week versus Southwest, but I went back during the week to look at the statistics. All of his rebounds, I think 90% of his rebounds last week were offensive.
Yeah.
So he'll do a bit of work on the offensive glass, and if you give him those cheap points, he's happy to take them. What does Ipswich need to do, though, to pull this win out tonight? They seem to be playing much more as a group. They've always been a talented group of players, but I think in years past they may not have played as a team. They seem to be really gelling and coming together as a unit.
Yeah, I think I was talking to former coach Mick Wellings before the game, and he seems to think the freedom and the motion is a lot better this year. They're sharing the ball. Jason Ralph's getting back to standard Jason Ralph status, which is an outstanding point guard and leader. So he's saying he's playing terrific. They got a great scorer in Garrett Hall, and Harvey's player of the week. He's Guzmaning it up, according to us. So he's on fire, averaging 35 the last 2 games. Keep getting him the ball.
Dan, what about Toowoomba? They need a big game from Bozeman and Ridgway, but one player that stood out, not necessarily in the most positive way for us last week, was Dirksen.
Yeah, I agree with all of those comments, and I mean, Bozeman, I don't know, DD's a huge fan of Ralph, and he's obviously got a good resume here in the QBL, but Bozeman should look at that matchup and think he's got a mismatch and go right at him, I would think. But Toowoomba winning or losing will depend, I think, on which Josh Dirksen shows up. If Dirksen puts up 8 points and 2 rebounds, Toowoomba's in trouble. If he gives you 15 and 10, they're a chance.
Oh, Ipswich won the tip. Hall fires from 3 and drains it. Garrett Hall, the GBL legend, according to Dave Derwin, comes out firing.
And if you're going to go under on him, you're in trouble. Like, they just can't do that. I mean, he's a lights-out shooter. I know he's only shooting 34% from the 3, which is okay, but you know, he's only 4 games into his QBL career, so he's still feeling that out a little bit, and a new squad, but going under a screen is not a good start.
Yeah, I think they might learn that quickly. Good dish from Ridgway to Malik on the other end, so it's a quick 3-2 Ipswich lead. How about Ralph getting the shot up, Malik fighting for the rebound.
Well, we were a bit critical last week of the Toowoomba boys with their lack of offense, so I really hope that they've watched a bit of tape themselves and understanding where they can get some buckets tonight.
Oh, it was a good rip there by Ridgway. Good defense, though, by Quan.
I'm not sure it was, John. Like, Quan gave him the baseline, and they had a help defender. Like, Ridgway ripped it straight into a double team. It's not great basketball. They're going to need a lot more ball movement and some more fluid offense if they're going to get enough points to get a win, rather than relying on that kind of ISO ball.
And Bozeman fires a deep three. Ralph now has it for Ipswich. Leave Harvey open. I thought he was going to bang that one. He'll throw the hook shot up. It's off. Tipped around. Malik has it for Toowoomba. Malik all the way to the rim, lays it in. Good take there by Manilock Malik.
Coast-to-coast action from Ridgway. Terrific.
Good follow there by Poulain off a Harvey miss. We could have a 110-108 game on our hands, fellas.
Well, Toowoomba is not a terrific defensive team, so I think that would be the pace that Ipswich is after. And again, Ipswich has guys that would like to get up and down.
Bozeman gets inside, finishes, plus the foul. That's the kind of ball movement, Dan, I think that you were talking about. Bozeman winds up with Bozeman. He does a good job attacking the paint.
No doubt. I think that's a style they've got to play. Got it into the post, penetrate, kick, 2-3 passes, and then look to attack the rim off the ball reverse. I think that's the style that Toowoomba has to play if they're going to be successful, not just tonight, but every week in the season.
I think, and equally, Johnny, that was the kind of aggressive take that Thunder was talking about. Bozeman's obviously got a couple of KGs on Jace, and that's where, if he can get feet in the paint and penetrate, that'll really help Toowoomba.
Ralph finds Hall. He's open again for three. That's good. Garrett Hall doing it from deep for Ipswich. Really nice set run there for Ipswich to get Hall another look.
Yeah, good offensive execution early from the force, moving the ball.
Ridgway, good take. A little strong. Malik, though, with the follow. I like the aggressive play from Ridgway. Just couldn't finish the play.
I like it too, but I don't like just going one pass, dump into a post. I'd like to see that he gets around for travel, call it there. I'd like to see if they're going to go to Ridgway, get it off a ball reversal, down pick him into the post, as opposed to just coming down, dribble up and just dumping it in and everyone's standing and watching. I'm not sure that's a great system for Toowoomba.
Well, then, and Ipswich just did the same. Again, I don't know if dumping into Quan is their offensive flow with fadeaway jump shots. Yeah, 3 minutes into the game.
We talked about it in that game versus Southwest. As Malik is fouled, they have to give that one's definitely going to go on Quan. Quan went up in the air, but we talked about it maybe running a little of that high screen and roll action with Bozeman and Ridgway, getting Ridgway going to the basket.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and again, even no foul. I thought that was a foul, but.
Well, Quan's got to up and try and dunk that. He went up trying not to get hit, I thought. Not to get blocked, just go up and power it through.
Harvey along the baseline, wide open layup is good.
Wow, really bad defensive communication. And Bozeman, with a great move, just missed a layup.
Now Hall has it for Ipswich. Gets it to his point guard, Ralph, who attacks. Now Harvey at the free throw line. Jump shot is good. Is there a hotter player in the QBL than Kyle Harvey at the moment?
Well, and especially when you give him that spot. I mean, that's probably his favorite spot right on the floor, that little 15-footer. And
it just makes me wonder, fellas, with all respect, what the coaches do during the week. This is a guy that's been here for a few years. I mean, he occasionally, not to hate, I don't want to sound negative, but he occasionally looks like an average GBL player some weeks. And now he's coming out, lining it up. Surely these guys have watched film and they know what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you can give him that look and let him get an easy bucket and get himself going with an uncontested layup, then pretty much a wide open jump shot. He gets in a rhythm, and once anyone's in rhythm, it's hard to slow him down. So I think the scouting video session in Toowoomba might not have happened this week, which is disappointing.
Bozeman got to the free throw line, hit both of his shots. He's looked aggressive here early as well. Hall finds Harvey. Now Ralph on the wing with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Harvey, good defense there by Ridgway. Poulain, though, picks up the garbage and dumps it on.
Yeah, we talked about, and I probably didn't give Poulain a bit of love, but I said Quan and Bishop, but equally Poulain's in the same boat. Hit the glass, give him simple buckets. They're not going to run anything for him, but he's kind of a garbage man that'll do his thing. Already a couple of offensive putbacks, which is exactly what Ipswich need. Just takes a bit of pressure off the big guys.
Yeah, good finish there from Dirksen. Finishing over the double team. Here comes Hall. He's fouled by Josh Dirksen. Don't mind that one early here from Josh.
That's a good foul. You can't give up a lap, and Hall looked like he was getting ready to try and punch it too, so that's a good foul from Josh. And great move down the other end, and we saw it last week. He posts up almost exclusively now, and he's got good height and he's got good strong legs, but I still think he's better suited, you know, as a face-up type player. So it's just interesting to watch him in the role that he's in for Toowoomba, just go to the block almost exclusively.
Yeah, he's certainly proven over the years that he can shoot the ball, and he's quick enough to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim a couple steps.
I think we had a game at Logan last year, calling the Ipswich Force Logan Thunder game. It might have been the second or third last round of the season. At that stage, he was leading the league in three-point percentage, so he can stroke it. But I guess obviously they like that matchup down low for him at the moment.
Scores knotted at 15. Feels like we've been calling this game forever. It's about 5:30 in the first left.
From memory, Thunder, was that like a really ugly game?
It was shocking. Yeah, terrible. It was disgracefully bad.
Yeah.
Good look inside. Kane Bishop dumps off for Poulain. Yeah. Blocked by Malik. Malik had 4 blocks in that game against Parts last week.
That's good offense, isn't it? Just good basketball in transition from Bozeman.
Yeah, well, Poulain's got to do a better job of using his body down there and really create contact in the Ridgeway. It was a bit of a soft take.
Harvey's going to fire the wing 3. That's short. Now Bozeman.
And this is where Ipswich can struggle if they sort of just have a quick little one-shot jack, which is where I don't think that's really what going to work out for them that well.
It worked out all right there for Bozeman and Toowoomba. They're now up by 4. Bozeman's on fire here early, fellas.
And we saw 2 different Bosemans last week. To start the game, great look. We start the game really aggressively, shooting the ball well, then third, fourth quarter just let himself get guarded much easier. So hopefully he can put in place 40 minutes of good aggressive basketball, because Toowoomba need that if they're going to get a win.
I like the switch of Garrett Hall on Bozeman here. I think he's just a bit stronger, and hopefully they'll keep him out of the paint a little bit and then let him settle for the jump shots. Great D.
Yeah, one-handed block there from Poulain. He lets Bozeman know it. It's a 3-on-2. Hall's open for 3. Too strong. Harvey gets it, though, for Ipswich. Ralph finds Hall again. Corner 3 is up. That's too strong. Offensive rebound is stripped away by Bozeman. He's off and running. Left-handed layup falls, as does Bozeman.
Bozeman looks gassed.
Poulain catches from Hall, and he lays it in. The moment the teams seem to be happy trading buckets.
Makes for entertaining basketball to watch. At some stage, someone will start playing defense, though.
I was talking of free flow in basketball.
Here we go. Are we talking Glory League again, Darren?
No, we're talking Jake Davis averaging 9 trays a game.
And what comp are we talking about?
For Brisbane. He's averaging 9 attempts a game.
In the QBL?
Yeah,
attempts.
Attempts.
Oh, I thought he was talking makes.
No, but he's shooting a good clip.
Yeah, he's averaging 18 points. 9's a lot of trays, though, every game, right?
Bozeman's jumper is too strong. Harvey in transition. He'll settle it for Ipswich, and they're going to run some half court. Bishop inside for Harvey, working on Dirkskin. Jump shot's good.
The Ipswich are running some fairly simple stuff, and Toowoomba just are not recognizing anything and nor taking anything away from
Well,
them right now.
both Josh and Coach Mousseau are just whinging, looking for a hooking call on that possession. I think the answer is just to play better D.
Yeah. Well, it's just really easy down the other end. I know the score says they're up 2, but Ipswich are getting buckets whenever they feel like it, whereas it looks like Toowoomba's really having to work hard.
That was a good hook shot, though, by Malik. Like you said, Toowoomba's up to 23-21.
Just holding on the score, guys. There is a difference in score between what is on live stats and me versus the score here in the stadium as well. So we need to wait to confirm that, but I believe the score is actually out, and it should be 24-23. It's a 1-point game.
All right, thanks for that update, Regan. We're going off the scoreboard here at Ipswich. It's got 23 all. They did have some issues in the women's game earlier as well, so we'll do our best to get the correct score up there for you.
Got to go up.
Bozeman's going to fire the top of the key 3. Oh. That's good.
Big 3. As the shot clock expired.
Both teams seem a bit gassed, fellas. It's a pretty frantic pace at the moment.
Well, I don't think we've had a timeout either. It's been fast-paced basketball. I mean, we're on track for a 110, 120 type scoreline, which is a little bit different to those viewers who tuned into the women's game, John, that we called earlier, but entertaining to watch.
Ipswich going to the bench, checking in Alec Godinay, James Kwan back into the game, and Jared Hepahi Karini, sorry. It's a mouthful, that one. I'll get it down by the end of the game. Ralph Harvey and Poulain taking a breather. It's interesting, Dave. I know you play a bit of ball with Kane Bishop from the Ipswich Force. When he's out on the floor for them, he's a bit of a 4-5. He kind of plays all 5 spots when he's on the floor, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, they sometimes play him. Well, he plays a lot at 4.
There's a good look from Hall and soft hands from Bishop to finish.
Yeah, or sometimes they play him as a 6'4", 5 man. But they've got Kwan out there now, and he's a good rebounder and a shot blocker. So
I used to love when you boys played him as a 6'4", 5 man. That was Christmas Day for me. But anyway, back to the action.
Hey, big guys are hard to find, mate.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably got a few phone calls to suit up for the QBL this season, didn't you, Dan? I know 2017 there was a few phone calls.
Last year a couple, this year none.
No, they must want you in the booth. They must love your commentary.
Broadcaster. But you're trying to get me a playing job and a coaching job.
I want you to be player coach.
You're still my agent.
Good take there by Ebner. He's fouled on his way to the buckets. He's going to get a couple of shots from the free throw line with 3 seconds to go in the quarter, and his team up 1. Is that right, Regan? We're calling that one, 26-25?
So according to live stats and me here in the booth, it is 26 apiece, and Ipswich Force are on 3 fouls, and the Mountaineers are on 2. Very different to what's in the stadium, but we will get things checked out for you shortly.
All right, we'll try and confirm that in-house here.
It is rare that if there's a scoreboard error, it disadvantages the home team. This could be a first. Ipswich have shortchanged themselves 1 point.
Good D there by Ebner. They got 0.9 seconds to get a shot off here. Let's see. Looks like Coach Dirksen is drawing up the play on the floor.
Like it. That's good leadership from Josh. I'm impressed. I think they're going to have a Ridgeway lob or a Bozeman set the pick and then open up for a quick jump shot. Plenty of time to catch and shoot.
Ebner, catch and shoot. Hits the side of the backboard, and we'll head into the quarter time break with Toowoomba up 3. Fellas, pretty interesting action, really high pace. Do you think these teams could keep up this frantic action?
Well, they may try. It could get sloppy, though.
If they both refuse to play defense, yes, they can.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the second quarter of action. It's Toowoomba up 3 over Ipswich in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you here at Llewellyn Stadium in Ipswich at the quarter-time break. It's a 28-26 lead for Toowoomba over Ipswich. Pretty interesting first quarter of action there, fellas. Very fast-paced. I wonder if Toowoomba is playing into Ipswich hands, trying to match them shot for shot.
We spoke last week about this as well, fellas, calling Toowoomba game, in that their depth is going to be tested. And I think it suits them, given that they probably go, with all respect to these guys, maybe 5, maybe 6 deep in terms of quality QBL players that they're going to rely on heavily. They're almost better to slow the game down and make it more of a grind-out possession and give guys like Bozeman a chance to rest on offense rather than go up and down, fast-paced, and he's got to go and sit out for 2 or 3 minutes of game time here. But also, if I'm Coach Moss, I'm not sure I've got Dirksen, Ridgway, and Bozeman all out at the same time. Where's Toowoomba going to score from in this lineup?
Oh, Bozeman did a lot of the heavy lifting there in that first quarter. Bozeman leading all scorers. He's got 14 points and 5 of 9 shooting. He was 1 of 2 from 3. Got to the free throw line of 3 times and hit all 3 shots. So I think you'll probably see Kwaekwam here with the ball in his hands. He's a bit of a threat offensively.
Well,
I hope so.
He did a good job last week for them.
He did a great job. But they need one of those 3 on the court. At least throw it down, big fella. Yeah. They need at least one of them on the court at all times. Bozeman, Ridgway, Dirksen. You can't sit all 3 out together.
And I really like the push from Ipswich. That's where they need to be. They need to be compete as best they can, scrap around, keep guys out of the paint, box out, and then
Toowoomba
run.
obviously don't know what they're running. So this is going to lead to turnovers or late shot clock possessions, long jump shots. This is going to be a fast break. It's like running a practice drill for Ipswich at the moment, because Toowoomba's offense is going to lead to easy opportunities.
Yeah.
And you see Coach Morsu going right back to his starters.
Oh, my goodness.
Letting them all get back in.
Well, that's one way to completely kill your bench's confidence, but anyway, hopefully they can recover.
Another turnover, so
that's three consecutive turnovers.
Incredible to me.
A big 3 to Garrett Hall's going to hurt. Whack. Oh, look good.
And Ipswich could have really used that bucket there.
Good pass.
Good hands up by Gardner. He gets the steal. Ralph has it now for Ipswich. He's going to settle things down. I think Jason's been playing great ball to open the season for Ipswich.
He's doing a good job of making sure the tempo is played at Ipswich's pace. He knows when to push it and when to pull it out.
That's a great finish there by Garrett Hall, plus the foul.
Well, we can't trust the scoreboard here at Ipswich. So I'm going to say, in my head, is that an 8-0 run to start the second? Are we looking at another 27-5 second quarter?
Let's hope not.
Well, that's what happened last week for Toowoomba.
Coach Morso's just gone 4 turnovers in a row. Sit down, mate.
He went with the full bench unit. The boys on the bench trying to figure out what went wrong for them. Coach Morsu is going to let them know.
Well, I'm all down with tough love, but there's also setting people up for success. And I don't know if that was a really good roster.
Well, let's hope that this 5 on the floor all stay out of foul trouble, because I'm not sure that bench is going to be too engaged after that little exercise. But
Ralph going to fire a wing 3. That's off. Ridgway picks up the defensive rebound.
He was auditioning for Broadway on the baseline. He had about 6 steps.
Referees let that one go. Malik. Now Ebner's 3. That's off the side of the rim. Ridgway throws it out of bounds off a Hall. It's a good hustle there by Ridgway, and a fresh shot clock for Toowoomba.
Substitution for Ipswich, checking in the game.
Ipswich going back to the bench as well. Checking in Kobe Robertson. Kyle Harvey checked back in, as does Mitch Pulane. So Ipswich has Harvey, Kwan, Ralph, Pulane, and Robinson. Toowoomba answers with Malik, Ridgway, Dirksen, Ebner, and Bozeman. Bit of zone here from Ipswich. Dirksen's baseline jump shot is too strong. There's Ridgway on the offensive glass with the putback. He loves it. He loves to talk, Ridgway.
He does love it.
I wonder if he's talking to himself, though. I think he's just trying to pump himself up.
I just think he just loves his own work. It's good. Get himself going.
I like the zone here a little bit from Ipswich because they need a bit of defensive rebounding help.
Good hands by Bozeman. Gets the steal, and he's tripped up by Harvey. It's definitely a foul. It wasn't unintentional. Foul nonetheless.
Yeah.
Regan, I want to check with you. Score, we have 32-30 on the scoreboard here in Ipswich.
Yeah, I think 32-30 is what we're going to go with. They ended up taking it back from 26-28 at the quarter down to 26 all. So I'm not too sure what's happened. We've lost a basket somewhere, but 32-30 is currently accurate across all three scores.
All right, so we'll stick with that. Don't forget, guys, at halftime we will have the Aron Baynes feature shot and filmed by Gold Coast Rollers guard forward Matthew Adekpanya. We'll have that for you at halftime. If you've yet to see it, definitely stick around. It's well worth a watch. And if you have seen it, definitely stick around to watch it again. It's that good. I know you loved it, Dan.
Well, we spoke during the women's broadcast about, like, Matt's obviously a very good basketball player, but his cinematography, and I've seen a couple of his videos just up online randomly, he does an exceptional job putting those together. So, I mean, that Aron Baynes clip's awesome, incredibly professional, and just a great insight into what life is like for the big Aussie over there in Boston.
Pretty timely as well with the C's up 3-2. Dave, what do you think? C's getting it done in 6?
No.
No? Going
No.
to
We'll go to 7.
Game 7,
We'll
baby!
we'll go to 7. We'll go to 7, and anyone who has number 23 in maroon has a good chance. So we'll see.
Both games, both series at 3-2 at the moment. Dirksen fires a 3. That's off. Big offensive rebound by Bozeman.
Well, you know, and you can't let the 6-foot point guard get offensive rebounds, which then turn into threes when you've got to worry about getting Malik and Ridgway off the glass. If Ipswich can't win the glass, they're not going to win the game.
Well, that's the one deficiency of sitting in a zone. It does make it hard to rebound.
Quan has it. He's triple teamed. Fouls on the floor. Let's see who that one goes against. Looks like that one's going to go against Malik. His first. Kobe Robinson gets it to the captain, Jason Ralph, with 8 on the shot clock. And Ralph loses it out of bounds. Frustrated with himself and the contact as well.
Well, just a real stagnant offense. I mean, they didn't really run anything. Everyone was just sort of watching. I mean, when in doubt,
Wow.
when in doubt, move the ball. Just ball movement, man movement. It's really what I find interesting is the lack of motion offense in the QBL at the moment.
I'm astounded too. I
Dave,
was going to call you John.
That's all right.
Don't
I
worry.
called you Dave in the women's game, and Derwin wasn't even here.
I know. I almost left.
Harvey's baseline
Huh?
jumper.
Take that, Thunder.
Take what? A
Harvey's
wide open
two.
jump shot.
You'd never hesitate on a wide open Jimmy, Dan.
Mate, I was shooting fadeaways over 2 defenders. Don't worry about that. I didn't necessarily make them, but
He was shooting it. Don't worry
it's
about
all,
that.
it's all about attempts.
I'll
Shout out,
confirm that.
Shuri.
Malik tips the ball out of bounds, so it's going to stay with Ipswich. But I think you make a good point, Dave. The motion offense is not necessarily always there. Everything seems to be very ball screen heavy and coming off the screen. Ralph, I thought, had a good opportunity to get a layup attempt as Bozeman with the acrobatic finish. But I think when you're coming off that screen, when the lane's open, you either got to pull up for your jump shot or get to the rim.
Yeah, it's just, it's clinical is not the right word, but it's just everything's kind of an A or B only, as opposed to moving the ball around, letting it fly, whilst looking after the ball.
Nice touch pass from Malik, and Ridgway puts it down with 2 hands, skipping his way back to half court.
And maintaining decent spacing. It's really not difficult, but instead we go straight into an on-ball where you've got 5 white shirts sitting in the paint. Doesn't make it that hard to defend.
Ipswich going to the bench. They're deep tonight. Cresto Wall going to see his first minutes of action as Hall and Bishop check back in for Quan Poulain and Kobe Robinson. 14 on the shot clock, 4:40 to go in the half. Hall puts up the baseline jump shot. It's too strong. Offensive rebound is blocked by Dirksen as Wall went back up with it. Three-point attempt is off. It's tipped around and Ridgway comes down with it. Bozeman wants to settle things down. He's only got 8 on the shot clock. Ebner will fire a 3. That's good.
Well, he didn't
And Toowoomba
hesitate.
up 6.
Did not hesitate. Got the ball, squared up.
Harvey's pass stolen by Bozeman.
Good defense from Weber on that possession too.
And Bishop fouls Bozeman.
Bozeman, again, I really enjoy the back-to-back watching some teams. And
Yeah.
again, Bozeman's a great team defender, really good help defender. He got a lot of deflections last week, and again tonight he's already got a couple of steals and a couple of deflections. He really reads the play well, always in stance, and always helping. So he's doing a terrific job for the Mountain men.
I think that's an important thing also, Dave, because a lot of times you see imports coming in wanting to get their points on the board, not necessarily always engaged on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Timeout taken on the floor. We're going to take a quick one as well. 4 minutes to go in the first half. It's 40-34 Toowoomba over Ipswich. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you at Llewellyn Stadium in Ipswich as the Force trail the Toowoomba Mountaineers 40-34. Taking a quick look at the statistics for Toowoomba, leading the way is Damon Bozeman. He's got 16 points. He's the only Toowoomba player in double figures. Next up is Manilok Malik with 8. Ridgway's got 6, Ebner with 5, and Dirksen also with 5. For Ipswich, leading the way, you've got Garrett Hall with 10 and Kyle Harvey also with 10. Poole Lane's got 8, Quan with 2, and then Kane Bishop with 4 off the bench for the Force. It's just a bad decision there for Ridgway, handing it off to Weber, running baseline.
It's just a lack of action in terms, they come down and they're quite happy to just go dribble up one pass, dump it into the post and just hope Ridgway creates. I just think they'd be so much better off if they were, you know, cross-picking him into the post or some other action to get him on the move.
Good finish there by Wall, using his body to create some space.
Well, we talked about that before. Pallane, just watch that on the tape. That's what you should have done the last couple times. Bang, straight into Ridgway. Try and draw a foul.
Good hit there from Weber. That's just poor transition defense, though, from Ipswich.
Oh, terrible.
Harvey double teamed along the baseline.
Wow.
He's fouled by Ridgway.
That's a...
See, again, sorry,
No, go ahead,
I was just
go
going to say,
ahead.
you know, the complete lack of action on the weak side between Bishop and Hall just means that there's 5 shirts again
Well,
defending.
the entire possession was on one side of the
Right.
floor, and they were very lucky to get bowed out on a very tough shot.
Harvey has been making a living, though, at the free throw line
Yeah.
in the early going for the Ipswich Force in this QBL season. He's a versatile guy, though. Can put it on the floor. He could play in the post or out on the perimeter, and I think with that flexibility in his game, it forces the defender to make a decision how you want to guard him, and it helps him get to the free throw line.
And I'm interested, because I don't know, how are they going to defend him? Because he's kind of doing whatever he wants at the moment. Are you going to make him a three-point shooter tonight? Are you going to say no threes tonight?
Weber again, almost from the same exact spot. Miscommunication from Ipswich. Toowoomba's up 8. Harvey gets inside. A lot of contact. They're going to get him for the offensive foul as Ridgway stepped up to take the contact.
I think Harvey felt he was inside the restricted area, but I reckon Ridgway did a good job
Yeah.
getting his feet outside.
Regan, do we call the restricted area here in the QBL?
We do indeed. I didn't have a very good view of exactly where his feet were, but if neither foot was touching that semicircle, then that is 100% a correct call.
I think we'd be pretty confident in saying Ridgway had at least 1 foot that was off of that line. So
Was that Harvey's third or second?
I think it's his third.
Yeah.
Harvey with 3, so he's going to have to take a seat.
We're the old Ipswich board's a bit funky, so it's a bit hard to trust at the moment.
Good fake by Dirksen.
Good move.
Yeah, can't finish with the left hand, but he'll go to line for a couple shots.
I think tonight and every night, hopefully Bozeman Ridgway give them what they're going to, but Toowoomba's going to live and die on how aggressive and how effective Josh Dirksen's going to play. So those are good positive signs for the Mountaineers.
Don't forget, guys, at halftime we will have the Aron Baynes feature shot and produced by Matthew Adekpanya, the Gold Coast Rollers guard/forward. If you haven't seen the feature yet, definitely stick around for that at halftime. I like what they did with Dirksen there, though, getting him a nice touch right in the paint there against the zone.
Yep.
If you're going to play a zone, you can't let him get position like that on you.
Yeah, just really bad communication. I mean, a lot of people struggle to play a zone, which again is as baffling as my motion comment earlier in the night. You still got to defend someone, and the high post is often an area you're trying to attack, and Dirksen did a great job of presenting himself. Simple catch, and get himself to the line.
Gardner gets it to the basket, but he's fouled on his way. Can't finish, but he'll take 2 shots from the free throw line. To me, body language from Ipswich looks like a lot of miscommunication and a lot of frustration on a lot of faces at the moment for the Force.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, they're not huge, right? And then you go and lose Joey Owens, which hurts. And again, he's not necessarily a scoring machine, but he's a big presence. 6'8", big body, good screen, good hands. That helps your team. So they're probably, having to adjust a little bit with that tonight as well, against a team who does a really good job of hitting the boards.
And Toowoomba taking what Ipswich is giving them. Bozeman forces one up.
Yeah, better job defensively then from Quan and Hall.
This is a really big couple of minutes for Toowoomba to finish out the half, especially with Cole Harvey on the bench for Ipswich. I mean, they're up 8, if that scoreboard's correct, and if they're not careful, they let Hall get to the foul line, give up a cheap hoop here and there. It could easily be a 4 or 5 point game of the half, but if Toowoomba lock in, they should go into the halftime break up 12, 14 points, which can make a big difference mentally, especially for this Ipswich team.
And while we're taking these free throws, I'll just take the opportunity to call out one of our sponsors, Live Sport Australia. They're showcasing Australian sport online. So if you haven't jumped on, give them a like on Facebook, check them out, and watch all kinds of Australian sport showcased online.
Hall hit them both, so it is a 6-point game. Ebner gets past Ralph, can't finish. Ridgway, though, with the follow-in.
Just poor recognition from Bishop and Quan. You got to box out Ridgway. It's just, if that's the only thing you do on the other end, then you'll do your job.
Hall's jumper is off. Ebner kicks ahead to Bozeman. Bozeman goes right at Hall with the contact plus the foul.
He is tough in transition, fellas.
He is
just so strong.
I'm just going to call it, this is it. He's the wrecking ball. He gets a head of steam. He's that, he's got that short, stocky build. You're not knocking him off plays. He's going to knock you out of his way.
Well, I didn't think Hall did a lot wrong either. I thought he defended him okay. Just Bozeman, again, made the referee make a call. Great job.
It's an 11-point lead for Toowoomba as Bozeman finishes the 3-point play. Inside to Godinette. He picks up his dribble.
This is another possession for Ipswich played on one half of the court.
They love that UCLA entry on that side of the floor, don't they?
Godinette with an acrobatic finish, to say the least.
Yeah, good call.
Ebner made the Cardinals sin of leaving his feet, not knowing what he was going to do with the ball. And Quan, that was an easy one for Quan to take. Both teams in the penalty. Don't shoot on the offensive foul, so just under 52 seconds to go in the half. 53-44 is the score. Quan will take it from the top of the key. It's short. Tipped out of bounds off a Hall.
I think historically, Quan likes a bit of NBN games, right, Johnny? He's had a couple of big games when we've called them. Well, they need one now from him tonight.
He can hit the three, so you don't mind it, but I think Coach Riches wanted to see a little more ball movement before he settled for that top of the key three. Bozeman going to work some clock, a little two-man game as Quan switches out on Bozeman. Bozeman's little teardrop is no good, but there's a foul. Second wedgie we've seen, one in each game. They got Quan on that one. Oh, they gave it to Pillane, I'm sorry. But Bozeman again going to go to the free throw line.
Again, a little harsh. I didn't think he did a lot wrong. His defensive position was, the body positioning was pretty good. He just maybe stepped in a little bit late. Bit unlucky. Last possession here for the Force.
Ipswich can hold for the final shot. Bozeman hits them both. Let's see what Ipswich has with 15 to go in the first half. Ralph has it with 6, gets the Poulane screen, nearly loses it, goes inside, pass tipped by Bozeman. Ridgway not paying attention. He runs right to the locker room. But at the halftime break, it's an 11-point lead for Toowoomba over Ipswich, 55-44, guys. Pretty exciting basketball being played here. A lot of up and down action. Both teams with a high score and a half. But Toowoomba doing a little bit more than Ipswich heading into the break.
I'm really impressed with what we've seen from Toowoomba, and I mean, they showed glimpses last week, like we said in the pre-game, but this week's been a much more consistent effort, and it's led by their floor general, Bozeman, who I think has done a great job controlling the pace of the game and getting good looks, whereas Ipswich at the other end have just, I think, been easier to guard, been happy to play one side of the floor and let Toowoomba get some rest on defense.
Yeah, Bozeman has 21 at the half. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with some halftime statistics and the second half of action. It's 55-44 Toowoomba over Ipswich in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia.
And don't go anywhere, because we do have that video from Aron Baynes and Matty Adeponier. So don't go anywhere. Check it out. It is an amazing video leading into the life of what it's like being an NBA player for the Boston Celtics. So stick around and enjoy.
The best part about coming home is getting to see the family. No matter what happens in the game, the young fella's just excited to see Dad, and usually the missus is pretty excited to see me as well. So, you know, we definitely enjoy spending time together and just getting to play with the young fella as much as I can. She's pretty much a single mum most of the year because I'm away so often, but when I am home, I try and be fully engaged with them. Thankful that my job, I don't have to take it home with me for the most part, and yeah, they're the best distraction in the world for me to get away from them. Just going in now, we got to start off with the promo just around the corner at the Museum of Science, and then I'm gonna head into the facility, get a bit of a lift, put some shots up, and then do some rehab afterwards, some recovery and massage. There's a day of creating and playing at the Museum of Science. Due to their efforts of recycling over 7,000 bottles as a class, they managed to do that number of bottles within 10 days. For game days, I usually have brekkie and lunch at home. Both meals I try and keep a bit on the lighter side, but a bit more carbohydrates than I normally would on an off day. And then afterwards, I go and have a nap. TD Garden's an awesome place to play. The fans in Boston are so basketball savvy that they know when to get loud and just makes for a great environment. I'm thankful to be in the NBA. At the end of the day, I'm so lucky to be able to do what I do as a job, and every time I get to step out on the court, I try and make the most of it, and you have to be ready every single time because everyone you're playing against are the best athletes in the world, they're the best at what they do. And so there's no games that you can take lightly, and that's showing that team can beat another team on any given night. So that's what makes basketball such a fun sport as well. It's one of those things that it's the culmination of everything behind the scenes that allows us to go out there and play, and without that, then we wouldn't be able to do what we do. There's a lot of people that we have to thank night in, night out that just aren't seen by the regular fan. We play for the Boston Celtics, who have the most storied history in the NBA. It's all about banners here, so we're chasing banner 18 this year, and that's what we aim for every time we step out on the court.
Back with you here at Llewellyn Stadium in Ipswich. At halftime, it's a 11-point deficit for the Force versus the Toowoomba Mountaineers. If you look at the statistics, Dave, it was the Cedric Bozeman show really in that first half. He was really impressive. He's got 19, I believe, at the break.
Yeah, 21, according to live stats. But you know, they're shooting 52% from the floor, Toowoomba. So they're playing pretty well. It's a pretty even contest so far statistically. For me, you know, I need more Jason Ralph. 0 points, 4 assists is not the production that you're after. And I'm actually a bit disappointed with Ipswich's focus and competing. Like, they're just not competing. Defensively, rebounding. I just want to see them play harder.
I think, and we spoke in the pregame, Bozeman should look at Ralph and see that as a mismatch, and that's what he's done the entire first half. So we'll see if that continues. But I think, fellas, each team in the league, each team in the world, in whatever comp you're in, has to establish their identity. We know from watching Toowoomba who they want to be, for the most part. I can't tell what style of play Ipswich want to play as of yet, so they're going to have to try and figure that out and just give Toowoomba tonight and every other team just a constant diet of their style of play. At the moment, they all look a little bit lost, and I think that starts obviously with the head of the snake, Jason Ralph, the point guard, who has struggled a little bit tonight, coming off a couple of really strong weeks.
That foul was on Josh Dirksen, so that's his third personal. He takes a seat on the bench.
Well, that'll hurt. 2 quick ones in the first 30 seconds was not what the Toowoomba boys were after. Again, you know, I think for Ipswich, what they need to be doing is a bit more penetration. You know, feet in the paint, and not just settling for 1 or 2 passes only. They seem to be just happy with 1 or 2 passes. When again, move the ball. Again, swing. Get the ball in Ralph's hand, coming off a pick and roll opportunity when the defense is moving. And he needs to be doing a bit more of that.
Of what, turning it over?
Well, Pillane should have opened his, get your mitts up, big fella.
Oh, that's not the big man's fault right there. That's point guard play, my man.
I think Pillane's got to know Ralph is looking to dish, right?
Unsportsmanlike foul on Ebniter. As he and Garrett Hall were battling for the ball. A lot of contact there. That's the second one we've seen, one in each game. I understand it's definitely a foul.
No, it's
unsportsmanlike.
That's the new interpretation. It's just a straight trigger. That's just it.
I disagree with it. I'm not blaming the referee. I just think it's a bad rule.
Of course it is.
Overall, but nonetheless, there's a break in action. We'll take a quick one. 55-45 according to the scoreboard here with 9 to go in the third. New QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you here at Llewellyn Stadium in Ipswich. Unsportsmanlike foul called on Ebniter before the timeout on Hall, and Hall hits the free throw. We were talking in the break. It's just the rule. It's not necessarily the intent of the foul, I guess. Regan, I'm going to ask you though to break down that intentional foul call and why that particular one, when both players are battling for the ball along the sideline, why that's an intentional foul.
Yeah, so the new interpretation did come out in this last set of rule changes, and essentially what it's designed to do is it's designed to stop a player who turns over the ball, or who has, in this case, who has potentially turned over the ball from immediately playing the player rather than the ball and actually preventing them from chase after it. So in this particular situation, the ball was knocked out of his hands, and on the turnaround to go and try and retrieve it, he's just straight away attacked the player and prevented him from making a move. And that's just what the rule is now. If you don't play the ball and you play the player on a turnover, immediate unsportsmanlike foul.
And that's a great breakdown, Regan. And Vaughan made 100% the right call. He's obviously a very good world-class official. But this is just the skinny genification of basketball with rules like that. I mean, it's just the contact game. I just love to let the boys play. You know, a bit of contact's good for basketball.
3 on the shot clock for Bozeman. He's going to fire a deep 3. That's nothing but net. He might be on his way to another 40-plus tonight, boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I actually think for Toowoomba to win, he has to go get 40. I mean, he's on, what, 27 now, 18 minutes left in the game. He's got to continue to carry this squad.
He better get the ball over the half court. Ooh. Just beats the buzzer. Malik rips baseline. Hook shot is no good, but he's fouled on his way up.
I don't know. Again, check the scouting report. I don't know why Kwan's up and in on a guy that I've never seen shoot outside the paint. Is that fair?
I'm with you. I actually don't think coaches in the QBL do scouting reports.
Malik, though, on the free throw line now for a couple of shots. Malik's been pretty good for them defensively. Looking for a shot also.
Yeah, I think it's a key few minutes here if I'm the Force, because you've got Dirksen gone to the bench, and they really need to start at least looking like they're going to come back.
Well, they both teams at the moment just trading baskets. Neither team can really get a stop as a nice finish there by Poulain.
And a much better offense with a nice hard cut. Instead of the UCL action that they kind of haven't got much now in the last quarter or so. Toowoomba just thought they'd borrow their play for a minute there.
Bozeman lost it on the way up. Poulain, though, loses it out of bounds. Haven't seen Bozeman operate in the post before, have we?
Trying to get a bit of power guard action in.
That's your position, Dave. The power guard.
I think Bozeman is going to load up here.
Really deep.
Oh,
that was a brick. Nice leak out. Bishop misses. Poulain doesn't.
They've got a couple stops now and a couple of fast break buckets. Again, they need another stop here. Ipswich continue to build momentum. And this is where Toowoomba broke down last week. They kind of got a pretty stagnant and then just hoped Bozeman would help them out.
You're right, but this is where Josh coming back into the game with his 3 fouls. This is where he had to be a bit smart a few minutes ago and just know that you are so important for this team. Yeah. You can't afford to get into foul trouble and sit out a good chunk of a quarter. So he's got to be smart now, because a 4th foul for Toowoomba would be big trouble for them.
And again, Ipswich should be trying to exploit him. I'd be putting him in on balls for the next few minutes and see if we can get him on another silly show foul.
Hall goes right to the rim, misses. Poulain again with the follow.
Doing a great job in there for him.
There's a little more energy from Ipswich. Bozeman guarded by Ralph. Pass, though, from Ebneter inside to Malik.
Yeah, terrible. I think you're being a bit generous too, Johnny, on the energy. I see Ipswich. I don't see guys in stance. I don't see guys on split line. I'm just not really happy with their energy and their ability to compete at the moment. I just think they're a bit flat.
Well, at the moment, it's a 60-55 lead for Toowoomba over Ipswich. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. 6:09 to go in the third. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you at Llewellyn Stadium in Ipswich. It's a 5-point deficit for the Forest. Toowoomba up 60 to 55. Ipswich slowly chipping away into this Toowoomba lead. Ralph finds Harvey on the wing. His three is good.
Well executed. We can give dudes a bit of stick. We can also give some love. A good executed play. Harvey on the lift. Good offense, good look.
Well, out of a timeout, that's often how you judge good coaching. What do you do out of a timeout? They executed that perfectly. So give Ipswich's bench some credit.
And they needed that. I think, is that Harvey's first field goal attempt in this third?
No.
No?
No. But he's playing with 3 personal fouls. He's had a quiet one in comparison to where he's been at the last few weeks, that's for sure.
I'm not going to knock you, Johnny. I would never doubt you. But I swear he had 5 or 10 at the half. Maybe not. But let's just say he's had a couple of buckets.
Ralph fires for 3. That's way off. Now
Bozeman saw a 3-second shot clock, which made him shoot that.
Bozeman is balling.
Is there a better, the truck in transition, Bozeman, is there a better guard in the QBL in trans?
Not that we've seen so far, but we haven't seen everyone yet, have we, Dave?
No, we have not.
But Harvey's starting to heat up. Bozeman pulls it back beyond 3. It rattles home.
Tough. Did a pretty good job to move his feet and stay in front. Bozeman looks like he's in a groove.
He's I'm giving him that one. Can we christen him the Wrecking Ball? We like that one?
I like it.
I like it.
It's official.
Garrett Hall always looks better from a lefty.
Well, they need a lot more. They need to get him involved as well. Again, I think that was his 15th point.
Should Toowoomba have any possessions where Bozeman isn't getting a touch?
Yeah.
The man is on fire.
Well, they have him on the scoreboard here at Llewellyn Stadium at 32. When I'm looking at live stats, it says 24.
Oh, he has more than 24 points.
27 on live stats, but 32 in the stadium. One way or the other, though, he's killing it at the moment. And one thing that Ipswich did, actually we saw Southwest do last week against Bozeman, is throw a lot of different defenders and different looks at him. Well, Ipswich seems pretty happy to just guard him straight up.
Well, the other thing, sorry.
No, go ahead, you got it.
The other thing that Southwest did a good job.
Harvey again from 3.
Is they did a good job of plugging the gap there and keeping another couple of big guys in front of Bozeman at most times. You watch this split line D here from Ipswich. It's been pretty average all night.
Yeah, and we joke about coaches putting scouting reports together because it doesn't look like there's been a lot of scouting tonight, but there are some incredibly professional coaches in the league, and Mick Downer last week put together a great defensive plan which worked really well against Bozeman. But you can see tonight when teams don't come that prepared what he can do. But Ipswich's offense is heating up here too, so we've got a good finish coming up tonight.
Here's Ralph. No look to Hall. Wing 3 is up. It's short. Ridgway with the rebound. And we kind of talked a little bit about that off air. Ralph needs to be looking for a shot there. The paint was open for him.
Well, either that or I thought he missed Bishop on the left as well. But a good look still. Not a bad kick. I agree. He needs to be more aggressive offensively.
Bozeman he needs some help defensively, first of all. They can't leave him on an island like that. He's in trouble.
They've just left him to dry all night long. It doesn't matter how many points this guy gets, because down the other end, it's a piece of cake.
I feel like I'm watching an all-star game. All offense.
It's a 3-point game, though. 2:40 to go in the third. Bozeman again from deep. That's too strong. Harvey's feeling it. Shots off. There's a foul inside. That one's against Ridgway, battling for position with Poulain. Weber checks in for Toowoomba Kwan back in for Ipswich, and Bishop's getting a breather.
Force done a good job here tonight to fight back. Up 6 this quarter.
I think too, fellas, if I was Ipswich, looking at the scoreboard for Toowoomba, Bozeman is doing it all. And in transition, no one can guard him, but I think that's partly due to Ipswich's offense too. I would almost just say for the last couple of minutes, let's just slow it down and really grind it out, because that hopefully leads to them executing on offense, but it also takes away Toowoomba's trans, because I don't know if Toowoomba can score in the half court. We've seen so many turnovers of them just trying to feed the post. So if Bozeman doesn't get transition hoops, who's scoring for Toowoomba?
Yeah.
So grind it out like they do here. Get a good set. There's no transition bucket here. So they need to just grind out good, long offensive possessions and take away Toowoomba's transition offense and see if they can score in the half court, because Bozeman is much easier to guard when your defense is set like we're seeing right here.
Here's Ridgeway with the matchup against Tulane. Right hand is good.
That's just too easy. Far too easy. Again, if someone's sitting and split, he doesn't get that simple little hook shot to the middle.
$73-70 the score. Ralph's pass is tipped. I would love to see the stats as Bozeman gets the steal and the layup. I wish there was a statistic to see deflections, because Bozeman's got to have at least half a dozen.
Well, they're giving him no love on the live stats. 1 steal, which is a bit harsh, because I would have given him at least 5.
Hall can't get it to fall, but he's fouled.
But he's also playing the lanes because he knows Jackson Ralph doesn't want to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Jackson Ralph starts shooting and being aggressive. He's got to play him more straight up.
29 for Bozeman now.
Well, he's got 36 according to the scoreboard in here. What is going on up there?
Yeah, that scoreboard's killing us.
He's going to be heartbroken when he walks off here with a 40-point and he goes to the stat sheet and it says 32. He's going to be heartbroken. I would be. I'd be devastated.
And is that, Regan, do you have the same score, 75-70?
Yeah, the score is currently correct, 75-70, but that shot foul chart is all over the shop.
Okay. Yeah, we're kind of relying on the scoreboard here. There looks to be a couple issues. In my quick math as well, when you add up all of the Toowoomba points, it doesn't actually even add up to 75, so someone's missing a pair there at the moment. But
call me crazy, ready? I'm going to go crazy here, and I'm going to maybe double team Bozeman and get the ball out of his hands. What a concept.
Well, Southwest did it successfully last weekend. They really shut down Bozeman, especially in that second, the third quarter in particular.
Yeah.
But he's doing a good job. Ridgeway has been a bit quiet when you look at his production from last week, but I think if you focus on Bozeman, Ridgeway's the kind of player who can get you a couple buckets inside if you leave him in single coverage like he did on that previous possession.
Well, that was non-existent coverage, Johnny. I think you're being too kind. But I agree. You just got to pick your poison, though. Are you going to let the guy who's shooting 65%, who has 31 already, and just continue to let him do what he feels like, or are you going to try and make it a bit difficult for him? So now you can't let him catch the ball again. And let's see what Dirksen and the rest of them can do.
Dirksen with a nice left-handed finish.
That's great science for Toowoomba if that's the mentality Josh Dirksen's got. Just takes the heat off Bozeman and Ridgeway too. Solid third option.
Hall kicks it out to Bishop. He'll fire from 3. That's strong. Good defensive board there from Ridgeway. We've got 40 seconds in the third. Toowoomba up 6. Bozeman dumps it off. Malik can't finish the reverse.
Well, at least we had some green shirts in front of him for the first time tonight, which made it a bit harder.
Harvey, a lot of contact.
Wow.
Referees let it go. Dirksen pulls down the rebound.
I agree with you, Thunder, that let's let them play a bit, but be consistent. I mean, there was probably two fouls in there.
Be consistent, but I like that no call.
Yeah.
Toowoomba's going to hold for the final shot. Bozeman wants a clear out. He wants Ridgeway's screen. Splits the defense, fakes the step back, and then fires away. It's off. Ridgeway can't get the reverse to fall. And heading into the fourth quarter, it's a 6-point lead for Toowoomba, 77-71. Pretty good job by Ipswich to cut it down to 6. They still have a little ways to go, though, if they want to pull out the win.
Yeah, they did what they needed to do, which was chip away, feel a little bit better about themselves. But again, the defensive end is, they're just looking really average down that end.
We'll see if they can make the adjustments heading into the 4th. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with the final quarter of action. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Welcome back to Llewellyn Stadium as Dan George gets pumped up for Jeff the Hornet Horn's entrance song. Final quarter of action here. It's a 6-point game. Toowoomba holds the lead over Ipswich. We're heading for an excited finish. This is a tight one, boys.
I think it'll come right down to the wire. Just will Bozeman be able to carry them the whole way?
It's a good look for Dirksen. He's not happy with himself. They missed that wide open 3.
We'll kick off the 4th quarter with a bit of shout out to the Ippy Grammar School. And Mick Wellings, coach, does a good job there.
He sure does.
Alumni, Thunder.
That's right. Not that I have very fond memories, but it was what it was.
Ball gets his feet in the paint, can't finish, but he's fouled.
Why no fond memories, mate?
High school wasn't my favourite time.
Okay. Nothing against Ippy Grammar, of course. Terrific school.
Wonderful. One of the best 8 schools in the GPS.
All doing a good job, though, getting both feet in the paint, drawing the contact. He'll go to the line for a couple of shots. Hall's got 18 points on 4 of 11 shooting. He's got 3 assists as well. Harvey leads the force with 22 points on 9 of 17 shooting. Poulain, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 7 of those offensive. Pretty good job from Poulain so far this evening.
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, you know what you're going to get from him.
Toowoomba, of course, being led by Damon Bozeman's 31 points. He's got 3 rebounds and 3 assists as well. Also in double figures for Toowoomba. Malik's got 14 points and 5 rebounds. And Ridgway with another double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 4 offensive. Dirksen spinning baseline, too strong. Kwan with the rebound.
Those post players for Toowoomba have to make quick moves because that double team is just waiting on the baseline.
Well, and I was going to say, equally, Thunder, and the split's not there either. So if they go quick, I think they'll get, easy buckets.
So that's why I know I said it a couple of times, and I don't want to sound repetitive or uneducated, but just coming down, throwing one pass and dumping it into the post. With Ipswich's defence set, that's a tough bucket, but if they can get into the post off a move, you know, reverse the ball and cross pick or do something to get that post player some action before he catches, it just makes it so much harder to defend.
Look, Malik just picked up his 4th too. That could be really telling. But they're going to sub him out, I think. Well, yeah, for me, right now, it's ball in Harvey's hands.
Yeah, they've got to attack that matchup.
Yeah.
He's guarded by Weber. Harvey looking for the screen. He gets one from Quan. Hands off for Ralph. Elbow jump shots up. It's too strong. Bozeman with the rebound. Wrecking ball gets picked. Garrett Hall puts on his Jets. Layup blocked by Dirksen. Harvey can't finish the layup. It's tipped around. Quan comes down with it. His layup is no good.
Yeah.
Poulain tips it in.
Great job, Poulain. That's more like the energy we're after for the Ipswich Force fans out there.
No doubt. Meanwhile, Toowoomba have to control the backboard.
It's a 2-point lead for the Mountaineers. 8:20 to go in the game.
Much better energy on the defensive end from the Force then.
Well, it's amazing how much harder the big guys play defensively when they get a bit of action on the offensive end. So, I mean, these bigs from Ipswich have definitely taken up a level in the last couple of minutes.
Bozeman deep 2 is short.
That's a bad shot too. They can't rely on him doing ISO in the half court. Transition, he's unstoppable. Half court, Toowoomba need to run some sets.
Get out of the way, Poulain.
Harvey's 3, that's a long 2. Gives Ipswich the lead, 78-77.
Yeah, I think Coach Morsu needs a quick timeout here because Toowoomba looks a bit shaky the last couple of minutes.
Bozeman looking to go one-on-one with Ralph. Gets it to Dirksen at the wing. One-step dribble shot.
That's good offense.
Dirksen, I said it was a lead for Ipswich. I'm going off the scoreboard. It's now back to a 2-point lead for Toowoomba, 79-77.
Well, in your defense, Johnny, they do keep changing the score.
Ralph with the screen from Quan. Dumps it out. Quan's wing 3 is up. It's an air ball.
Ridgway loves it.
Ridgway told him, keep shooting, big fella.
Ridgway looks like a comedian to me.
Yeah, love it.
7 minutes to go in the game. 2-point lead for Toowoomba.
You know, you just run something, you get Harvey a 3. I don't know if a follow-up with James Quan 3 is what I'm after again. At a key moment in the game when Ipswich had momentum.
Let's see if Toowoomba can make him pay. Zone here from Ipswich. Ridgway spins away from Poulain, finds Dirksen in the corner. 3 rattles home for Josh Dirksen.
Yeah, 2 big buckets.
These are
Dirksen.
great signs.
Yeah, stepping up when they
and
need
good
him.
offense as well from Toowoomba. They took their time, patient. Ridgway in the middle of the key against Ipswich's defense. He was wide open and he made him pay. Great find of Dirksen in the corner.
Hall on the wing, he'll fire a 3. Ridgway with the D-board. That little hesitation, and Hall should have just caught and fired.
Yeah. Someone call a timeout because both teams look like they just need to calm down a bit here.
Ridgway spins baseline. He's shut down, but he's still able to finish.
Oh, I love it.
Toowoomba's got all the answers at the moment.
7 lead back up to 7 after it was cut to 2. It was a tie game as Harvey takes it strong to the rack.
Defense is overrated here.
Weber's 3 is good. After Quan gambles, Weber makes him pay. The Toowoomba bench is feeling it. The Ipswich faithful trying to get their boys home.
Weber's been really good for Toowoomba. I know he doesn't get talked about much. He's hit some big shots, but equally he has got his hands full on defense trying to guard Kyle Harvey. Oh, and he's a flopper. I take it back. Oh my God, maybe he didn't flop. Maybe he just got.
Harvey just holding his ground. Weber looks like he's winded.
Maybe he just caught him off balance or something, but there was nothing in that. But he's been sniped.
Was there a dog here? I mean, I don't know if that was a sound effect. It sounded like the guard dogs were about to come out. Weber looks like he's winded. I think he'll be okay.
I think he just copped a bow. He copped an elbow or something.
I don't think he needs a sub.
Well, they're gonna bring Malik back in with 4 personals.
Yeah, roll the dice on Malik.
Toowoomba up 6, 5:13 to go.
The scoreboard's actually right for the first time tonight.
That's good news.
Yeah, well, you can't rely on it. So I've got the handy live stat.
You look at it though.
App here.
Bozeman on the scoreboard says he's got 36. On live stats he's got 31. Dirksen though picking up some of the slack as it looks like Bozeman is tired. He's exhausted, and Dirksen stepping up to take a little bit of the load off of Bozeman.
Well, it gives Bozeman a chance to rest a little bit without coming out of the game. If Ridgway or Dirksen can step up and produce, so that's good news for Toowoomba fans.
Bozeman gets it at the elbow. Going to bring it back out to half court. Goes away from the screen, dumps it off. Dirksen going to fire top of the key 3. That's short. Offensive rebound though, Malik. Bozeman goes to his left, then hesitates. Pounding the rock, looking inside, flips it up and in.
That's a tough move.
A wrecking ball with the left hand.
This is like 2004 Chauncey Billups out there.
How about Godinay getting the roll and the foul?
With the Cisco look.
I like it. I like it. That it might be for an older generation, that reference, because I don't know if this generation knows who Cisco is. I got it. Dan got it.
I'm confused.
Regan's definitely from a different generation, that's for sure.
So they waved it off anyway.
Do you wear thongs, Regan, down the beach?
Wait, on the beach? No.
No.
Well, he had the circus move, but they didn't count it.
I don't know where the foul was before before the shot,
Yeah.
but the referees wave it off. 89-83 the lead here for Toowoomba. We've got 4:40 to go. Godinay inside, too strong, can't finish. It was a good play and a good look.
It was a good set. Absolutely good out of bounds play.
Bozeman gonna fire from 3. That's good.
Tough.
You just got to tip your hat to Bozeman.
This has been an education for Jason Ralph, but what adjustments has Ipswich made? You can't just let one guy continue to kick your ass all night. They've got to make some adjustments on the defensive end to finish this game.
Harvey finishes strong. Second time he's run through Weber.
Well, they've got 4 minutes or so. Let's see what they do in order to do something different here.
Ralph gets called for the blocking foul. 4th team foul on Ipswich. Excuse me, first one. I'm looking at the timeouts there. Sorry about that. Referee's letting them play, which is nice. Ralph trying to body him out, though, not give him too much space.
I'd almost put Kyle Harvey on Bozeman for a few possessions. I know Kyle carries a big load offensively, so you don't want him to burn too much energy, but Jason Ralph just cannot guard Bozeman. I'd put Kyle Harvey's a bit bigger, a bit taller, a bit stronger maybe. I'll just give him a different look.
Dirksen driving baseline through the contact, no call.
There's a lot of contact down there.
Harvey pushing up court for Ipswich. Finds Ralph in the corner. 3 is up. No good. Bishop offensive rebound. His putback no good. Poulain can't get it to fall. And Ridgway comes down with it. And then they get Poulain. I think it's going to be against Mitch Poulain.
Well, a bit of a frustration foul. They should have picked up between Bishop and him. Someone put the ball back in. They just need to stay calm here. It's only a couple of possession games still.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes is a long time in a basketball game.
.324 left.
Ipswich aren't in a box on one, are they? Defensively? What is Jason Ruff doing, by the way?
Looking to be aggressive defensively. Picks up his second one in about 30 seconds.
He is just letting his frustrations take over.
Dirksen inside for Ridgway. Spins away, forces one up,
Wow.
no good. Gets his own rebound.
Wow.
Is the box and one though, we saw it. Harvey stripped by Ridgway. They're gonna get Ridgway though for the reach-in foul.
That's 4 fouls on Ridgway too. He cannot afford to get his 5th. I know that's stating the obvious, but he's vital for Toowoomba's success in the last couple of minutes here.
Taking a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. You got a final in Rockhampton. The Rockets pick up the win over Gladstone, 93-83. And let's see what's happening up in Kansas. Townsville taking on Cairns. The Heat pull out the win, 87-74 over the Marlins. This is their third and final game.
Off his knee.
As Hall loses it out of bounds off his knee. Good strip there by Bozeman.
Bozeman getting it done on both ends.
2:40 to go in the game.
He has got.
Oh, no way.
I'll continue to give him love. Bozeman has outstanding handles.
Keeps it nice and low, strong to the hip.
That's his first.
Ralph picks up the charge. I'm surprised Coach Morris is not blowing his top on that one. That was a close call. He's going to take the timeout though on the floor, so we'll take one as well. 2:36 to go in the game. It's a 7-point lead for Toowoomba over Ipswich. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you at Llewellyn Stadium in Ipswich. It's a 7-point lead for Toowoomba over the Force with 2:36 to go in the game. Good time out there as things were getting a bit sloppy from both teams. What's going to do it for Ipswich, Dan? They've running out of time. Clock is definitely not their friend at this moment.
2.5 minutes in a 7-point game is plenty of time. There's no need to rush. They just need, I think, to run really good quality possessions. They want to get the ball to Cole Harvey, I'm guessing, and let him go and create something, especially with this matchup he's got. But just take your time. No need to rush.
Harvey inside. Bishop uses the pump fake. Can't finish. Poulain has it stripped out of bounds by Bozeman. It's a good look there by Harvey.
It was. Yeah, Poulain's done a great job, and Bishop should have made it, but Poulain's done a great job just keeping the ball alive. He's unheralded. Not a massive guy, but geez, he's active.
Harvey's pass though.
That hurts.
Well, they're not gonna chip away the 7-point lead when they do that.
It was a really tough space he was trying to squeeze that pass into. Dirksen in the corner. There's 9 on the shot clock. Weber puts it on the deck.
Wow.
Out to Dirksen now for a wing 3. Too strong. Hall with the rebound. Tips it over to Bishop. Stolen though by Ebneter. And then Hall steals it back. Hand off for Poulain. He'll put it down with 2 hands. The referees want to...
Poulain. Oh, I feel bad for the young fella. He's kind of gone up and dunked it, giving it a double pump on the rim. He was pumped, fellas. Go back and watch the tape, and he's coming back down, just begging for a high five, and Hall's just giving him nothing. And he's just kind of shrugged it off and walked off. Somber.
He gets the love from the bench. There's a timeout on the floor. Let's keep it here, though, fellas. 1:43 to go. 5-point game. Toowoomba needs to make sure they take care of the pill, get good looks. Well, you got to think their defensive focus is going to be on Kyle Harvey as well.
Well, firstly, they just got to get some better stops. So, I mean, I think Hall looks like the better matchup on Bozeman, just a little bit stronger. When he's guarded him, I think he's done a better job tonight. So I'd be continuing with that, or as Dan said, throwing Harvey at him for a bit of size. But you got to know that he's going to try and dominate the ball for the next minute and a half. Down the other end, just simple. Get the ball to Harvey, or equally, you want to get the ball with Garrett Hall, looking to make something happen. They're their 2 best scoring options.
What about for Toowoomba? They need to, obviously, 1:43 to go. Is it Bozeman time on the offensive end?
It has to be. And Bozeman's got to create. Dirksen might get a shot, Ridgway on the glass, but it's got to go through Bozeman. But you can't expect him to dribble up and just do it himself. I mean, he's almost got to kick it to the wing, run under the hoop, come off a couple of picks. You got to help him get free, because they're going to be hugging him for the last 1:43 here.
Ebneter now for Toowoomba.
And that's good action. They cross-picked Ridgway into the post, who took a dribble and pretended to windmill it. He looks like a comedian to me.
He's very animated out there, talking, great facial expressions. Bishop got called for the foul. That's Ipswich in the penalty. It's going to be a couple shots. And Weber's going to get a couple free throws.
Well, both teams in the bonus, so any contact is going to see foul shots. So this game, 5 points now. This could come down to which team shoots their foul shots better the last couple of minutes. Weber gets it done.
He has had a good game for them.
He has. They've been really impressive.
Misses the second, though.
You shouldn't have jinxed him, Dave.
6 points to the lead now for Toowoomba. Got 1:30 left in this game. Ralph gets the screen from Bishop. Keeps his dribble alive, finds Poulain. Kicks it back out. Ralph, top of the key 3. That's short. Hall gets it. His wing 3 is up. That's too strong. Bishop, though, another offensive rebound.
Kane Bishop should never beat Josh Dirksen for an offensive rebound.
Hall has it stripped. Who's in there? It's the wrecking ball. Damon Bozeman, jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the Ipswich Force.
He tried to go all NBA on us. And
He
get a
did try and
timeout.
call a timeout. He did. Yep.
It's only 3 on the shot clock there.
Well, I think he forgot that Toowoomba don't have any timeouts left. And you can't call them anyway, I don't think, as a player, can you?
No.
In the QBL? Don't think so.
Regan?
You can't call timeouts as a player in any league in Australia. It's not the FIBA rules. The timeout on the court from a player is only an American, I guess, it's their own interpretation of a rule.
Well, we did invent the game of basketball, so I think we're allowed to make that decision.
Settle down. Because it's Canadian, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing, right?
No, it's not.
Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America. Come on.
3 seconds. Big sideline out of bounds here. I think they're querying the clock, but Bishop got the O board, which means there was 14 on it. So I would say the clock should be pretty close to being right.
Yeah.
Want to get something at the rim here, though, don't you? So if on the possession arrow, they'll inbound from the sideline. You do have plenty of time to catch and shoot.
Well, they need a score. They must have a score this possession.
Why did they put it back to 14?
I don't know either.
Is that because it was a jump ball, so it resets maybe?
No, so it's not because of the jump ball. It'll be because they claimed that Toowoomba had possession somewhere down on the floor. So on a jump ball, if it remains with the same team, shot clock stays the same.
Okay. Thanks, Regan.
Bishop, air ball. Poulain gets it. Can't finish. Hall, though, stripped by
Bozeman
Ridgeway.
saves the day. And then they foul him 95 feet from the hoop.
Well, I love Kane Bishop. He's a mate. He's a mate of ours, but you don't. He's not the guy you want taking that shot coming out of the sideline out of bounds.
Yeah. Well, it was a good look, but he missed it.
That is a devoted, diehard Rocco's Raiders response.
I thought that team was kaput now.
They are history.
Yeah.
The University. Who beat you? No, you won the final. My bad. Who'd you beat? Dragon. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about QBL here. I'm going all GBL.
Yeah, tough break. Garrett Hall felt he was fouled. Bozeman, another big play after big play on either end. He's been terrific tonight.
Coach Riches takes a timeout. We'll take one as well with Ipswich down 7, 46 seconds to go in the game. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you here at Llewellyn Stadium, 46 seconds to go, and Toowoomba up 7, 94-87. I got to ask the question, Dan, is it too little, too late for Ipswich?
Yeah, this game is done. If Toowoomba do what they need to do, which is just take care of the ball, Ipswich are going to have to foul. So if Toowoomba can take care of the ball and knock down their foul shots, this should be a wrap. But we'll see. Knocking down foul shots with a tight game with 30, 20, 15 seconds left is not easy.
Well, we should say Toowoomba also in the penalty here, so any foul will put Ipswich on the free throw line. And
it looked like they were trying to foul them when Harvey turned the corner. I don't get that. If I'm Toowoomba, I want this clock to run.
It's his third personal foul. Toowoomba over the limit of team fouls. Kyle Harvey to the line, shooting 2.
And we'll see if we can grab one of the either Ipswich Force or Toowoomba Mountaineers players to have a quick chat with us post-game. As Harvey hits the free throw. Harvey with 31 at the moment. Easily the top scorer for Ipswich. Bozeman leads all scorers with 42 on the scoreboard. Dirksen.
Oh, wow.
They get Bozeman with the offensive foul.
Well, I said a second ago, this game's over if they do what they're meant to do. Josh, just hold the ball, man. They're going to foul you.
Yeah.
Just accept the foul. Go knock down your foul shots.
And a great read from Ralph to get a hand in the lane. Interesting, they get a bucket here.
They gave that one to Bozeman. That's his second personal. It's an offensive foul, so it's going to be a sideline out of bounds for Ipswich.
Damon Bozeman's second personal foul. Ipswich ball from the sideline.
The Force crowd would love to see a 3 ball here.
Don't need the 3, though, do you,
The
Dave?
ball has to go to Kyle Harvey, surely. Oh, Hall's a good option.
It's up. It's good. 2 points to the lead now for Toowoomba.
No foul. Don't foul. Why would you want to? It looked like they want to foul.
And there they do. Hall was going for the steal. Instead, he fouls Weber.
Well, they fouled the right guy. You don't want to foul Bozeman. Weber went 1 of 2 a little while ago.
Well, they got it out of Bozeman's hands.
What are you fouling for? There's a.
Oh, I wouldn't have fouled at all, but if they're going to foul anyone, they fouled the right guy.
What was the differential? It was like, was it 32 when the ball got inbounded?
Weber's first one is no good, so
There you go.
they know something we don't, fellas. I think it's probably more than something, but big free throw here from Weber. There's 25.9 seconds left in the game.
Box out here. You don't want to give up an offensive rebound.
Hits the second, so it's a 3-point game. Coach Rich is going to use his final timeout. Let's keep it here, though. 3-point game, 26, just under 26 seconds to go. Do you need the 3 on this possession?
I think so, because you don't have any more timeouts left, so you can't really advance it. So, I don't know, I would shoot a 3 with, I don't know, 10 seconds left at least to give you a chance to go and O-board and get a 2, maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah, well, they got 2 great options in Harvey and Hall, so they can run one as a decoy and see what happens on the weak side, but they got good options. I'm the same. I'd go relatively quick, see what you can make.
Quick 3, though.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, they've
At
shown,
home, crowds into it.
for the last 5 minutes, they've shown that they can O-board whenever they want.
Yeah.
So I'd go fairly early, get Hall or Harvey shooting a 3 and just crash the glass, and you'll, from what we've seen so far, you're very likely to get a second chance.
And if you're Toowoomba, you got to be careful. You don't want to foul on a 3-point shot either.
No.
I don't want to foul at all if I'm Toowoomba.
Geez, if Ipswich come and steals this one, Toowoomba will be heartbroken. Up 7
That would
points.
be a terrible choke if
A
Toowoomba
minute
give it
and a
away.
half on the clock, up 7. So we'll see if Toowoomba can get another stop here and close the game out.
Pass to Harvey on the wing. Puts it on the deck. Jump shot is strong. Poulain with the offensive rebound again. 1 point the lead now. Ipswich going to have to foul here.
Why
with
is there
18
only
to go.
one? Why is 3 Toowoomba players in the front court watching? Got to go help
They're
out.
trying to foul Ebneter. They need to foul. There's 10 to go, and Bishop fouls Dirksen.
Ebner saved the day then. Great job.
Foul number 25, Kane Bishop.
Big free throws here for Dirksen against his
Dirksen to the line, shooting
former
2.
squad.
Let's hear you,
Could
Force
put the
fans.
nails in the coffin with these 2. First one's good.
Pretty calm, looks pretty confident.
He does. First one's the hardest.
Second one good as well. It's a 3-point game.
Big 3 for OT, what do you think?
Harvey has it. Gets ahead of steam. Hands off for Hall. 3-pointers up. It's short. Poulain chases it down out to Harvey. His 3's up. It's an air ball, and the clock runs out, and Toowoomba comes into Ipswich and gets the big 3-point win, 97-94. The Force made it interesting at the end, but a well-deserved win by Toowoomba. A really excellent performance, particularly by Damon Bozeman.
Yeah, they did exactly what they needed to do. They took all the punches, and Toowoomba did a terrific job of holding on, getting a much-needed win.
Yeah, definitely so. I think Ipswich just left it a little bit too late to really jump into that one, and you know, they let Toowoomba get that early lead, and they can never really bring it back. I mean, if you're Ipswich in that situation, Dave, what could Ipswich have done better to get the win? Because they did play an outstanding game.
Well, I think they'll certainly have a look at the tape again, and in the second half they did a pretty reasonable job offensively of sharing the ball. They just missed a lot of, they missed a couple of simple ones at key times. Offensive rebounds that they missed that they should have put back in, And yeah, that's just the little things that mean the difference between a win and a loss sometimes. And again, I don't think they'd be super happy with how they defended Bozeman. He kind of did what he wanted most of the night, and they didn't really take much away from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Bozeman ended up. Do we even know what Bozeman ended on? It's got 42 up here. I'm thinking 36. We don't really know what he ended up on in the end, depending on what score is actually right. But take us through some of the stats that you got there in front of you, boys, and how the guys actually went out on the floor.
I'll just give me a sec here, Riggs. The scoreboard is funky. You are correct. So we'll have a look here.
Well, while you're pulling that up, Dave, Dan, we watched Toowoomba play last week against Southwest, and this, to me, this seems like a completely different Toowoomba team compared to what we saw last week. What do you think it is in particular that's changed in their game?
Well, I think Southwest deserve a lot of that credit as well, because Coach Downer put together a game plan to guard Bozeman, knowing he's what drives that engine, and they guarded him really, really well, and his effect towards the end of the game was a lot less, whereas Ipswich tonight just let Jason Ralph guard him one-on-one for pretty much 40 minutes, and Bozeman was just too good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Bozeman's a class act, isn't he?
Very good player.
I mean,
absolutely.
he is an outstanding import.
Sure is.
And yeah, you just can't have single coverage on him. That's the reality. So I've got some stats here for you, Riggs. Bozeman finished with 37 on 56%, 4 of 8 from the 3, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 turnovers is pretty impressive for a guy that literally had the ball in his hand all night long, and you know, he was outstanding. Malik had 14, did a good job as well as usual. Ridgeway a little bit quiet. They did an okay job on Ridgeway regarding boxing him out. He still had 14, but he's tough cover. And then you know, Ebner and Weber were serviceable as well, which was good for Toowoomba. So great win for them, and give them the world of confidence.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, Toowoomba's got a long way to go until the end of the season as well. But with the way that they've actually been playing and the improvements week on week since what we've seen through them, I mean, Toowoomba definitely has the opportunity to keep getting some big wins on the board, especially putting the big upset on Ipswich this afternoon. So, yeah, what a great way for Toowoomba to close out this game, and all the best to them for next week and moving forward as well. But what we have for you right now, guys, is we have managed to get Bozeman, to come and have a bit of a chat to us here in the production panel. So just give us 2 seconds. We're going to turn our audio down and get things set up, and we'll be with you right shortly with an interview from the big man himself.
Back with you here, and we've got Damon Bozeman, the Toowoomba Mountaineers point guard. Damon, big win, great performance.
Hey, thank you. It was tough. We know we had a tough game last week against Southwest, and we just wanted to bounce back. We know Ipswich won their last 2 games, and the last one was real close. I think at the buzzer, Garrett Hall shot a shot at to win the game. So we just wanted to come out strong and just bounce back from last week.
It was a good win.
Yeah, and I guess from the Southwest game last week, we thought that they did a pretty good job of just throwing different defenders at you, different looks the whole game, and obviously you seem to drive this Toowoomba engine, whereas tonight you seem to like that matchup and you had it one-on-one for most of the night. Like, how did you see that, and how did that help you, I guess, run for 40 minutes and put up some big numbers?
It was just a learn from last week, because like you said, they threw multiple defenders, checked me full court, and just made me frustrated. And I watched the game over, just did film with the coach and Harold, and we just broke it down to see what I needed to do to become a better player and what we needed to do to win. And that was just to fight through it, maybe play me off the ball a little bit, made me run big, and, you know, instead of just always being a point guard. And over the course of the game, I had enough energy to finish out strong.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, transition, you're tough. Like, we're up here tonight going, Ipswich have to somehow make this a half-court game, because in transition, man, you can't be stopped. So.
And yeah, and that's what Coach wanted us to do. You know, that's why I signed up to play for Toowoomba. He loved to push the ball, and he said, get out and go. So that's just one dribble go. And I noticed myself just beating a lot of guys in transition, just going right around them. So that's what coach want me to do. So that's what I do.
Yeah, man. It's good to watch.
Yeah, in the third and fourth, there was a little bit of a more intention to get to get the ball to Dirksen. I think that was positive for you.
Yeah.
I think you finished with 16. That's just talk a little bit about how that's going to continue for you moving forward for the rest of the season, because I think you need him to be giving you 16 a game, right?
Yeah, definitely. Him and Harold and Mayo, and that's the thing. That's what we try to work on, to be not just a one-dimension team, to be able to go inside and outside. So that's what coach wants us to focus on too, along with transition. But like I said, like if the transition game is not there, then we can slow it down and throw it down low. And when guys like Josh, Mayo, and Harold going, as you see the results, we can win any game we want to.
Yeah.
How you finding the QBL? Obviously, your first season in Queensland. What do you think of the competition through 5 rounds?
Man, it's real tough, man. A lot of great imports, and you got NBL guys and locals, and it's just real competitive, real tough. You see a lot of free throws being shot and real physical, and that's what I like to play. I like a physical game.
Well, we christened you the Wrecking Ball. I don't know if you have a nickname, but that's what we're going to refer to you throughout the rest of the season. I hope you're all right with that.
I'm perfectly fine with that, and I thank you for the nickname.
Yeah, well, it was a great performance by Damon Bozeman. We want to thank you for taking the time to chat with us. We're going to wrap things up from the QBL Game of the Week. I got to thank Dave Derwin, Dan George, Regan Baker, Chris Sieber, and down in Sydney, we got James Bowman from the Australian Sports Network. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We have the Rip at the Caps next weekend. On Saturday, it's 5 and 7, and we'll see you again next week on the QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia.